Kidz Biz from Knowledge is Power. I am here with Miss Tori Heglin at the Waterford Christmas tree lighting. How are you today?
I'm wonderful, and we're just filled with community spirit and the holiday spirit of giving.
How long have you been doing this event?
I've only done it for 4 years, but I do believe it's the 32nd year for the tree lighting in Waterford Township, and maybe they did something a little bit different before that.
How hard did you work to make this happen every year for 4 years?
It always takes more than you think it's going to take, but I'm blessed with so many volunteers that come out and they anchor down the cookie decorating station and the letters to soldiers that may not have an opportunity to be with their families, and coloring and reindeer dust, which seems to me like a special tradition here in Waterford.
What positive message can you give the kids of today?
The basic message of love each other, take care of each other. Those acts of kindness really matter. So I think we need to be good to each other, and we'll have a good
I'm your host, Michaela Thomas. Kidz Biz, where knowledge is power.
What do you want to be when you grow up?
Happy holidays.
Happy holiday to you, Michaela.
Thank you. You too.
Thanks for coming out to Waterford's tree lighting event.
Alright, that's good.
Video?
Cut. Hello, I'm your host, Michaela Thomas. Welcome to Kidz Biz, where knowledge is power, and Kidz Biz Live. We have a very special guest today, Minnie Mouse, and she is going to be reading you the original story of The Red-Nosed Reindeer by Robert L. May. 'Twas the day before Christmas, and all through the hills the reindeer were playing, enjoying the spills of skating and coasting and climbing the willows, and hopscotch and leapfrog protected by pillows. While every so often they'd stop to call names at one little reindeer not allowed in their games. Ha ha, look at Rudolph, his nose is a sight. It's red as a beet, twice as big, twice as bright. Well, Rudolph wept. What else could he do? He knew that the things they were saying were true. Where most reindeer noses are brownish and thin, poor Rudolph's was red, very large, and quite shiny. In daylight it dazzled, the picture shows that. At nighttime it glowed, like the eyes of a cat. And putting dirt on it just made it look muddy. Oh boy, was he mad. They nicknamed him Ruddy. Although he was lonesome, he always was good, obeying his parents as good reindeer should. That's why on this day, Rudolph almost felt playful. He hoped that from Santa, soon driving his sleighful of presents and candy, dollies and toys for good little animals, good girls and boys. He'd get just as much, and this is what pleased him, as the happy, handsomer reindeers who teased him. As night and a fog hid the world just like a hood, he went to bed hopeful. He knew he'd been good. While way up north, on this same foggy night, old Santa was packing his sleigh for its flight. This fog, he complained, will be hard to get through. He shook his round head, and his tummy shook too. Without any stars or moon as a compass, this extra dark night is quite likely to swamp us. To keep from collisions, we'll have to fly slow. To keep our direction, we'll have to fly low. We'll steer by the street lamps and houses tonight in order to finish before it gets light. Just think how the boys and girls' faith would be shaken if we didn't reach them before they awaken. Come Dasher, come Dancer, come Prancer and Vixen, come Comet and come Cupid, come Donner and Blitzen. Be quick with your suppers, get hitched in a hurry. You too will find fog, a delay, and a worry. And Santa was right, as he usually is. The fog was as thick as his soda's white fizz. Just not getting lost required all Santa's skill, with street signs and numbers more difficult still. He tangled in tree loops again and again, and barely missed hitting a tree but of plain. He still made good speed, with much twisting and turning, as long as the street lamps and house lights were burning. At each house, first, nothing, the people who live there, he'd quickly select the right presents to give there. By midnight, however, the last light had fled, for even big people have them gone to bed. Because it might wake them, a match was denied him. Oh my, how he wished for just one star to guide him. Dark streets and houses, old Santa fared poorly. He now picked the presents more slowly, less surely. He was really worried, but what would he do if folks started waking before he was through? The air was so foggy, the night dark and drear, when Santa arrived at the home of the reindeer. A ledge that he tripped on while sneaking the chimney gave Santa a spill and a painfully skinned knee. The room came down and was blacker than ink. He went for a chair and then found it in a sink. The first reindeer bedroom was so very black. He tripped on the rug and fell flat on his back. So dark that he had to move close to the bed and squint very hard on the sleeping reindeer's head. Before he could choose the right kind of toy, a doll for a girl or a train for a boy. But all this took time and filled Santa with gloom, while slowly he groped toward the next reindeer's room. The door he'd just opened when, to his surprise, a dim but not quite defined light met his eye. The light wasn't burning, the glow came instead from something that lay at the head of the bed. And there lay, but wait now! What would you suppose? The glowing. You've guessed it. It was Rudolph's red nose. So this room was easy. This one little light let Santa pick quickly the gifts that were right. How happy he was till he went out the door. The rest of the house was as black as before. So black it made every step a dark mystery. And then came the greatest idea in all history. He went back to Rudolph and started to shake him, of course very gently, in order to wake him. And Rudolph could scarcely believe his own eyes. You can just imagine his joy and surprise at seeing who stood there so real and so near, while telling the tall tale we've already heard. Poor Santa's sad tale of distress and delay, the fog and the darkness, and losing the way. Before his complete Christmas trip had been taken. And you, he told Rudolph, may yet you save the day. Your wonderful forehead may yet have the way for powerful triumph. It actually might, old Santa. You notice he was extra polite to Rudolph regarding his wonderful forehead, to call it big, shiny nose would just sound horrid. I need you, said Santa, to help me tonight, to lead all my reindeer on the rest of our flight. And Rudolph broke out into such big grin it almost connected his ears and his chin. A note for his folks, he dashed off in a hurry. I've gone to help Santa, he wrote. Do not worry. Said Santa, my sleigh I'll bring down the lawn. You'd stick in the chimney and flash, he was gone. So Rudolph pranced out through the door, very gay, and took his proud place at the head of the sleigh. The rest of the night, well, would you guess? Old Santa's idea was a brilliant success. And brilliant was almost no word for the way that Rudolph directed the deer and the sleigh. In spite of the fog, they flew quickly and low, and made such use of the wonderful glow. From Rudolph's forehead, at each intersection, that not even once did they lose their direction. While, as for the house and glees with the sign on them, they mercilessly flew close so that Rudolph could shine on them. To tell who lived where and just what to give whom, they'd fly to each window and peek into the room. Old Santa knew always which children were good, and minded their parents and ate as they should. So Santa selected the gift that was right, while Rudolph's forehead just gave enough light. It all went so fast that before it was day, the very last present was given away. The very last stocking was filled to the top, just as the sun was preparing to lock. The sun woke the reindeer in Rudolph's hometown. They found the short message, what he'd written down. They gathered outside to await his return, and were they excited, astonished to learn that Rudolph, the ugliest reindeer of them all, Rudolph the red-nosed, bashful and small, the funny-faced fellow they'd always called names, and practically never allowed in their game, was now to be envied by all, and near, for no greater honor come to a deer than riding with Santa and guiding his sleigh, the number one job on the number one day. The sleigh and his reindeer came into view, and Rudolph still led them as downward they flew. Oh boy, was he proud as they came to a landing, right where his handsome playmates were standing. These bad deer, who used to nothing but tease him, would now have done anything only to please him. They felt even sorrier they had been bad when Santa said, Rudolph, I never have had a deer quite so brave or so brilliant as you, at fighting black fog and at guiding me through. By you, last night's journey was actually bossed. Without you, I'm certain we'd all be lost. I hope you'll continue to keep us from grief on the future dark drifts as Commander-in-Chief. But Rudolph just blushed from his head to his toes, until his whole fur was as red as his nose. The crowd first applauded, then started to screech, Hooray for our Rudolph, and we want a speech. But Rudolph was bashful, despite being a hero, and tired. His sleep on the trip totaled 0. So that's why his speech was just brief and not bright. Merry Christmas to all, and to all a good night. And that's why, whenever it's foggy and gray, it's Rudolph the Red-Nosed who guides Santa's sleigh. Be listening this Christmas, but don't make a peep, because that late at night should be asleep. The very first sound that you'll hear on the roof, provided there's fog, will be Rudolph's small hoof. And soon after that, if you're still as a mouse, you may hear a swish as he flies round the house, and gives enough light to give Santa a view of you and your room. And when they're all through, you may hear them call as they drive out of sight, Merry Christmas to all, and to all a good night. Thank you for listening to the original story of The Red-Nosed Reindeer by Robert L. Merry May. Christmas to all, and to all a good night. Thank you, Minnie Mouse, for being on our show and reading to the children. And our t-shirts are on sale. For more information on the Yes Foundation and our t-shirts, go to my website, kidzbiz7.org. I've been your host, Michaela Thomas of Kidz Biz Live, and Kidz Biz where knowledge is power. What do you want to be when you grow up? Have a Merry Christmas, and to all a good night. Hi, I'm Michaela Thomas, your host from Kidz Biz, where knowledge is power, and Kidz Biz Live. I'm here with Mr. Tony of iHeartRadio. Hi.
Hey, how are you?
Good, how are you?
I'm very well.
What inspired you to become a radio talk show host?
Well, I always wanted to do radio since about the time I was 13, and I wanted to do Major League Baseball. That was my goal. And then eventually I decided I wanted to do music. So I really like music. I've always been a fan of music. And I decided I want to do music radio. So that's what got me into this.
How much hard work did it take for you to become a talk radio host?
Well, it's a lot of work, and it's a lot of moving around because when you're in the media, to get a better job, sometimes like if you work at Walmart or Kroger or whatever, you can get a job in the same region. But in the media, to get a different job or to move up, a lot of times you got to move around. So it's a lot of moving, and yeah, it's a lot of long hours. But we like to work. We love our work. But it's an incredible amount of work and also sacrifice of moving around to other areas of the country.
What positive message can you give the kids of today?
Positive message. I think the biggest message, the most positive message I could get is believe in yourself and also work hard. The work ethic is so important, and if you work hard and really believe in yourself, it's unstoppable. You can do anything.
Thank you. I've been your host, Michaela Thomas, Kidz Biz, where knowledge is power. What do you want to be when you grow up? No.
Good job, Tony.
Thank you.
I'm just gonna do a quick sweep. I'm sorry, guys. Is it okay? It's okay? Just to close the show out.
Some weightlifting over there.
God, they're so heavy.
They are. Yeah. It's 10 pounds.
Hello, really? They're so heavy?
Yeah.
Oh.
Like in the best shape of anybody. So.
Oh my gosh. I just looked at all of those in and out of the trailer. You're absolutely right.
You should have said that out loud. You should have said that out loud.
Well, they don't tell you how big they are, though.
Here you go. Right.
Oh, excuse me. Beef footage.
Yes, sir.
M-I-K-O? Cool. Hi. Kevin, what is your email?
Oh, wow.